a clinical social worker and a doctor of clinical psychology student, how have you used doTERRA in your professional setting to help patients?
Thank you. So I've been such a big fan ever since they created the emotional aromatherapy. How many of you guys love the emotional aromatherapy? I don't travel or I don't even go to the mall or anywhere without it. I love it. And so when they introduced that, I actually started using that. There's two modalities as a psychologist that we use in our clinical practice, and one of those is called pattern interrupt. And pattern interrupt is like when you want to interrupt some negative thinking or maybe an addictive cycle, something like that. You need to do something, and we teach people what is that to just get you off of that negative thinking and off that addictive course. So we teach a pattern interrupt. The other thing is anchoring. And anchoring is more that we use for a comfort or a safe place. So sort of like what you do with a child with a stuffed animal and a blanket. So it's in order to bring you back to that safe place. So one of the psychologists I work with, she actually had this amazing experience that I would love to share with you. And she had introduced her client who was at the scene of an accident, so the first responder. It was very, very traumatic, and this person had a really hard time being able to process the trauma that had happened, so she was working with him. And she introduced the emotional aromatherapy. She had him smell each of them and decide which one that he resonated with, and for a reason unknown to himself, he chose passion essential oil, which is my favorite as well. Anybody else? Yeah. So he chose passion. So then what she did is she started doing this session where they were talking about the trauma and helping him process it, but in the middle of that, his brain kind of dissociated and went back to the trauma, and he started experiencing really high anxious emotions. So she quickly grabbed the passion, and immediately, when he smelled it, it anchored him back to the safe place in her office, but it also did something else. It caused that pattern interrupt in his thinking because it reminded him of Christmas and drinking hot chocolate with cinnamon when he was a child. So it's incredible the power that scent can have. So I always teach people to find some type of oil that can bring you back to a safe place.
I love that story because passion was able to do both. You know, break the pattern and be that anchor. I love that. Paul.